Aloha, Upside Down Pilates addicts. Many of you know that I've been writing a book about my journey to health, and I am very happy to share with you that it is finally done and available on Amazon.com. It is called From Sick to Sexy. I wanted to talk with you about my book today and how this may help you and your health journey. The book is about my journey in dealing with ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, having 8 miscarriages, being infertile for quite a long time, and then having 2 stillborn baby boys. Baby Max was born at 39 weeks, and baby Noah was born at 37 weeks. In the rest of this video, I'm going to dig deeper into what the book is about and how I hope it can help you. Before I took my health back, my day would be pretty miserable. The night before, I would have been up all night in pain, trying to do anything I could to dampen the pain. And the pain is the pain of rheumatoid arthritis. So this could be anywhere in my body. Could it be I wouldn't be able to open and close a hand? Could be that I couldn't bend or straighten a knee. And even if I wasn't moving that joint, it just had a massive pain to it. So I would be up all night. Finally, I would be able to go to sleep, and then I would get up maybe around 10, 11, or 12, do the best I could to put myself together. And then I would go to my Pilates studio and I would teach for 4 hours. By the time I was done teaching, I was completely exhausted. And then I would come home and I would sit in my rocking chair and watch YouTube or trying to find some TV show, to get my mind off from the pain that I was in, how depressed I was, and how much I just really didn't want to be alive anymore. So while I was really sick, I was taking low-dose naltrexone from my doctor. I was on thyroid medication. I was on both T3 and T4. I was taking Asacol for the ulcerative colitis, using Tylenol, Advil, Aleve, all of these types of things to kill the pain. I was looking at my next step being taking methotrexate, which is kind of a chemo agent, as well as having my colon removed to have an ileostomy bag put in, and those are things I really didn't want to do. I was raw vegan, so I thought that having a plant-based diet was going to help, fix everything, and it actually made me significantly worse. I did try for, 6 months to a year being raw vegan and juicing and all of these types of things, and I just kept deteriorating and getting worse and worse and worse. At the time, I didn't know that I couldn't digest raw food, so which was also really interesting because I was gaining weight while it was kind of weird. Other things, I tried putting ice on my joints, I tried heating my joints, putting anything that would soften pain on my joints. I was trying a lot of things that either didn't work or actually made me worse. So I knew I had to look outside the box, outside of the Western medicine perspective, because they had already detailed the progression of what they saw my life happening as under their care. So that was not what I wanted to do. So I started looking for information on nutrition and diet outside of that box. That is when I found the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I immediately enrolled in the health coaching program and I became a health coach. The first lecture that I found, or that I listened to, was by Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride. She developed the GAPS diet, and through listening to her 1-hour lecture, she described me in detail, as well as she explained that I needed to do everything the opposite of what I was doing, which made so much sense to me because that's exactly how I am dealing with my clients in the Pilates studio. They have a problem and we need to do the opposite of what the problem is. That's why I named my business Upside Down, because it's the opposite of what you would think you would do. So I listened to the lecture, went online, read her diet, and immediately went to Kokua Market, got a chicken, and made my first batch of chicken broth. I cannot tell you how much better I felt after drinking chicken broth. And at that point, you have to remember, I didn't know how to cook. I'm surprised I even had a pot in my kitchen that I could boil a chicken with. And I literally gagged as I put the chicken in the pot to make the broth. But it made me feel so much better. I knew that this was the path to go down. And that's really where I started, right there with the chicken broth. This book is for people who are ill or unhealthy and they have a desire to learn how to change so that they can become healthy. Specifically for people who are dealing with autoimmune issues, for people who are dealing with fertility issues, people who are just starting to see symptoms that they don't understand happening, and they don't want to go down that road of starting to take a ton of prescription medication to cover up their symptoms. They really want to go in and look what's underneath, what's going on, and make changes to fix those problems. My hope for the reader of my books is that they learn tools that they can use to help transform their health, as well as give them inspiration and hope in knowing that they have control so that they can transform their health, and they're not subject to a miserable life regardless of whatever condition that they have, that they themselves can make changes and improve their health and reclaim their life. My goal for the book is to reach as many people as possible that want and need this information. The more people that I can reach and help, I think the better off the world is going to be. I hope the readers of my book are able to use it as inspiration in transforming themselves from sick, whatever state of health that they are in, into that full state of being sexy and ready to get out there and, do whatever it is their voice needs to share with the world. My transformation from sick to sexy started really after the birth of my first son. He was stillborn at 39 weeks. At that time, I had been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I had delivered him, he was dead, and then we had started to go for fertility treatments because after I had him, I couldn't get pregnant again to save my life. We did then finally get pregnant, and unfortunately, he also passed away at 37 weeks. So at that point, I had started reclaiming my health, and I really went in and tried to figure out what was wrong, and then what the things that I needed to do to change and recover. So the big points that I changed were my diet, my rest, my exercise, internal hidden stressors, and then I added in a bunch of supplements to kill off bad bacteria that I found living inside my gut so that I could recover and become more healthy. So the information that I've compiled about how to rebuild my health it's really been a lifelong journey in understanding this. So I think that actually, interestingly, it goes all the way back in my transition from ballet into modern dance. So as a ballet dancer, you have a very specific idea of what beauty is and what movement should be. And I jumped into modern dance, and that was the absolute opposite of that, but it was still valued and seen. So I feel like that gave me an open mind to be able to look at everything, and knowing that there's always a different perspective from what you may think reality is. Someone may have a different reality. So then when I actually went to graduate school, I studied dance, but I studied biomechanics and applied it to dance. That gave me the knowledge on how to do research, what research to look at, and also making sure you're looking at the research and who's paying for the research, because that makes a big part of how you value the research. As well as I work with Irene Dowd, and she is an amazing dance anatomist who has taught me many tools on how to reprogram neuromuscular issues with my Pilates clients. So with her, she gave me that inside look that wasn't really coming from Western medicine, that was coming from strengthening muscles from the opposite of what you think you would do, strengthening the inside muscles to let the outside muscles relax, or rehabbing things differently than you might get at physical therapy, and getting great results with that. So by the time I got into nutrition, I had all of this information on what to look for. So I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition Health Coaching School. I'm a health coach. After that, I just kept learning and reading and doing anything that I could to absorb information on this base of knowledge. The next program I took was the Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioner program. This is where I learned how to read functional lab testing and how to really get underneath what's going on and search for things like gut dysbiosis, so that's going to be parasites, bacteria, fungus, and yeast that are disrupting our gut, heavy metal toxicity, hormone dysregulation, mold toxicity, you name it, all of these different things that actually are driving the issues that we're having. That was like a huge eye-opener for me, and what really made it possible for me to stop the problems that were happening. I, at a certain point, was just watching every summit that you could watch and get every bit of piece of information that you could get, and I was right there with Dr. Tom O'Brien's gluten summit. So he's the first guy to make one of these summits, and that is where I realized, oh my God, I have to have a parasite. I gotta go figure out what's going on. So because of that free information, that's where I figured out what was actually wrong, and then from there was able to figure out how to resolve the problem and continue building my health. Yes, I have done heavy metal toxicity training, advanced hormone trainings, hair tissue mineral analysis trainings. I am a certified gluten sensitivity practitioner, and by the time this probably airs, I will be a certified GAPS practitioner as well. So in this book, we're going to take my story, and I'm going to explain my story so that we can understand how I got sick, what exactly it is that I was sick with, and then the steps of recovery that one needs to take. We're going to use my story and then go through the steps that I went through and see how that works out for you, especially if you're having any of the issues that I've had. So we learn what is a leaky gut, what is causing it, how that relates to all of the disease that we're seeing in the world. We're going to dig into diet and the dietary changes that need to be made to heal a leaky gut. We're going to dig into rest and the importance of rest and the kind of rest that we need, and how our culture of go, 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 and never rest and never take a nap is killing us. We're going to look at exercise. I actually give you my fundamentals of upside down Pilates in the book, along with videos for you to do the exercises at home with me on a white sand beach, to give you the deep elements you need for exercise, and then also look at what kind of exercise you need to be doing when you're healing. Should we be doing CrossFit? Should we be doing meditation? What type of thing do you need to be doing at that time, and why? Stress reduction. So this is huge. We're going to look at the internal hidden stressors, the gut dysbiosis, heavy metal toxicity, mold toxicity, those types of things, blood sugar imbalances, hormone imbalances. We're going to look at our outside sources of stress. Who are the people we have in our life? What is the environment that we live in? What is our work environment like? Do we take time to meditate and rejuvenate ourselves? These are all huge, important things in our health. And then we'll talk a little bit about supplementation. So what are the basic supplements that you need, and what are the types of things that we need to think about in order to heal and to rebuild? Again, most of our healing and rebuilding is coming from our diet, but there are a few things that we can have to really just add that extra oomph in our recovery. Then we're going to go into a chapter I want to call Get Her Done. So a lot of people know what they need to do, but they are not able to make it happen. So this chapter is really going to go into all the different strategies to help people make the changes that they need to do. One of them I'll share with you now. I learned in my health coach training in the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and that is the idea of crowding it out. And I like to call it crowded out or crowded in. So for example, let's say we're trying to stop eating sugar. This is a huge problem in our country. Rather than saying, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore, you start saying, I am going to have this before I eat sugar. And you try and crowd in the healthy thing, and then you're going to start to realize you don't have that need for the sugar anymore. So I like to use the idea of crowding in broth. So before you can have anything with sugar in it, you need to have 8 ounces of broth. If you drink that 8 ounces of broth and you still want the sugar, then go for it. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to say, I don't need it anymore. I'm full, I'm satisfied, I can go on my day. But if you start to focus on, I can't have sugar, then you're only focusing on what you can't have. And you need to focus on what you must have, and then those things are just going to fall by the wayside. So the book follows my story and my journey. But what I want you to do is insert yourself into my story and follow along and make the changes that I made, so that you can also reclaim your health. This book is really not for someone who is happy with their health care, all right? So if you are healthy and you're going to your Western medicine professional and that is doing it for you, then really this book isn't for you. This is more for the people who have gone through the traditional route and it's not working anymore. This is not for the person who wants to take pharmaceuticals, all right? If you are taking pharmaceuticals, you believe in them and they are working for you, then this book is really not for you. This is for the person who doesn't want to take pharmaceuticals. So this book really is a culmination of the information that I've learned over the past 10 years in trying to rebuild my health, along with the information I've learned in working with my clients and helping them rebuild their healths. So you can go through all the process that I've gone through and try and figure all of these things out. The information is out there if you know where to start digging. But you can read the book and it's going to just open doors for you. You can do what's in the book and things will transform for you. As well as in the book, I am leading you directly to other resources that's going to give you more information to help you. This is really the base that you can use in rebuilding what you need to do. This book can be used as the foundation to rebuild your health. If you're interested in working with me directly and digging deeper to find out the underlying causes of your health complaints, you can visit me at www.upsidedownnourishment.com. There I have a form that you can fill out, and it will give me some information about you that I can see if we might be a good match to work together. After that, I will email you and we can set up a time to do a discovery call if that seems like something that may work for us. The programs that I offer are both health coaching programs as well as investigation programs. I encourage you to start with an investigation program where we do functional lab testing to discover the underlying causes of your health complaints. And after doing that, you can move into a health coaching program where we meet twice a month via video chat, and we discuss what's going on and we talk about any obstacles that you're facing, and then we devise plans to overcome your obstacles. To be very clear, I am not a doctor, nor do I want to be a doctor. I am not offering medical advice. If you need medical advice, you need to go see a board-certified physician. Results from following my advice are not guaranteed. Everyone is different. Everyone's health situation is different, and the process of healing is different for every person. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just as a reminder, you can get the book From Sick to Sexy on Amazon by Lisa Orig with Shelley Ernst. You can also get it through my website, www.upsidedownnourishment.com. And there you can see that we have ongoing health and nutrition classes as well as coaching. I have a 6-month group coaching that we've started, and I would really love to have you join us. Thanks again for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next week.